First of all, could you talk me about? I am very curious about one thing of the movie.
Yes.
And it's the style of shooting.
Yes.
Because you use two very different kinds of shoot of filming the movie.
Yes.
Could you talk me about that and why, which are the reasons?
Well, very simply, I wanted to create two different worlds in the movie, the world of the first half and the world of the second half, and reflect the inner psychology, the inner life of the main protagonist. And so in the first half of the movie, it's a much more optimistic world, and it's a world where nature is very friendly and magical. And we filmed with little handheld cameras, very small cameras like this one here, and we were right close in on people, and it was very improvised, and a lot of sense of the birds, the animals, the loveliness of nature, very organic. In the second half, the war has broken out, and the girl, the central girl, has been separated from the boy she loves, and the world as she sees it completely changes. It becomes a very cold place, a very alienating place. And so with this we used much sharper lenses, German Zeiss lenses, which are super sharp. We used an Alexa camera. We used generally slightly wider lenses, and we always had the camera on a tripod or on a dolly to contrast with the handheld nature of the first half. So yeah, it's an attempt to try to make you feel what's going on in her head. I guess that's what most technical things you do in a film are to try to get the audience to understand what's going on in the character's head.
Could be the reasons about the poses in the head.
That's also the reason, yeah, because we do this technique which is I'd never seen before, but maybe it's been done before, but where you hear her own narration inside her head, but you hear little bits of it just coming and going for the first part of the movie to represent, I suppose, the confusion that she feels as a character. She's not crazy, but she's almost crazy, I think. And then as she finds more inner peace, the voices in her head disappear. I think like a lot of teenagers, particularly teenage girls, she feels a lot of the pressures of society telling her you should be fatter, you should be thinner, you should dress like this, you should wear this kind of nail varnish, you should watch out about getting pregnant, all those things, and all those pressures are in her head going round and round.
Yeah. And I don't read the novel, but did you change a lot of things, or you are very...
Well, no, it's not very close to the novel, but it's also not very far away. I mean, the basic story is the same. Some of the characters are different. She is a bit different. In the novel, there's a little bit more of the context of the war. What is this war that's going on? And I decided to even get rid of that and to make it very ambiguous. Very ambiguous. You don't know what the war is that's going on. And some people find that frustrating. They're asking questions. Why are they attacking? Who are they attacking? But that's the point, in a way, is that you are inside the head of the children. The children don't understand what's happening. As this war has broken out, the apocalypse is happening. But you're in the countryside, a long way away from most of it. And you just see a little smoke in the distance. You hear a sound. You see the ash from a bomb coming down. But you don't really see it directly, face to face. And I like this idea that in most movies about dystopias, about the apocalypse, you see, whether it be a comic book movie with aliens coming down on New York or apes ripping up the Golden Gate Bridge in New York, you see it in a city and you see big action. And personally, I feel that kind of big action has become a cliche. Because how many times do we need to see New York destroyed by an alien? I mean, I don't need to see it anymore. I've seen it so many times. It doesn't have any effect on me because I know it's not real. But if you're in the countryside, if you're a little withdrawn from it and you just suggest the horrible things that are happening, I think that works more on the imagination.
It's more a real fear, maybe.
I think so.
And from a small point of view. From a personal...
From a child's point of view. And you don't have the big political context, you don't understand what's happening because a teenager wouldn't understand what was happening.
What do you think that we could finish with our world similar to this?
Well, you just need to look at the news now with Ebola coming to Spain, with what's happening in Syria with ISIS. I don't know if they're called ISIS here, the terrorist group, with their black things and chopping the heads off people. This is just like this. This is just like this book, and I think that it's a rare example. This film of it's science fiction, but it's so close to what could be reality that it's very unusual, I think.
Yeah, this is a real fear, I think.
Yes. Well, I think we live in a time of real anxiety. I think there's a lot of anxiety in the world at the moment, and particularly if you're a teenager, I don't know if you remember what it was like, but you're very sensitive to the problems in the planet, whether it be warfare or the environment, or you worry about those things in a much more, now we're a little bit more cynical about it when you get older. But when you're younger, it really hurts you and really feel those things.
Yeah. To the directors that makes horror movies, we have a question that we made to all of them. That is, what means horror for you? Could you answer this for us? Because you are not a horror director. It's more a love story, finally.
I think it is a love story set in this kind of alternate reality or parallel universe. But I think that it is horrific. I think that a lot of people find the movie, particularly the teen audience, find the movie quite frightening.
Disturbing.
And I think that part of me likes that, because I think that you're making them face up to the reality of what violence is. And I think too much violence in cinema is postmodern, is not real. And obviously I like those kind of movies myself, but there's too much of that, I think, for my taste. And oh wait. I think that the purpose of horror is to put you, the audience, in a place where they feel the thing that they never want to feel in real life. And that's a strong purpose, because it's in these days when most people will not go to war, most people will not confront violence and see violence in their lives. I think we all have a deep-seated need as animals to feel this and to experience the worst things that can happen. And I think that's what cinema can achieve for us as a utilitarian thing.
Yeah.
And now the real horror is that some of these events comes to real life, as the Ebola in Spain, etc.
Exactly.
Yeah, in the movie, I could define your movie like some kinds of grey. It's not like only good and bad, only black and white.
No, I agree, and I think that's one of the things that makes it very different than the normal teenage movie. It's a very European teenage movie, and so
the games is in the other. So.
Exactly, and I think one of the things I feel strongly is that the imagining of what it is to be a teenager in film and television, somehow we've allowed America to take over that. So everywhere in the world, what teenagers watch and what is their entertainment is American. And I don't think that's very healthy. I think the American, very moralistic, kind of perfectly groomed, beautiful people, this kind of attitude of in teen movies doesn't really relate to what most people in the rest of the world feel, but somehow or other we've allowed America to dominate culturally the sort of teenage space, the children's space. We all watch Disney movies, we all watch The Hunger Games, Divergent, whatever it is, The Twilight or whatever.
Yeah. For example, I told him before that this is the movie that I want to go to with my daughter. So
yes.
cinema,
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what she thinks. Yeah, I think in some ways it's an alternative for teenagers who are a bit fed up with the kind of offerings that they're given by the studios, by the Hollywood studios, and feel like they want something a little more challenging, a little more unusual. That's who I would hope will go and see the movie.
And that was the reason that at the beginning,
Yeah.
I told you that thank you for doing this movie, because
Okay.
it's very, very different.
Thank you.
Yeah, changing a little bit about the movie. What can you tell me about your new movie?
Well, I've just made a film which is coming out in America in January, in Britain in December, and I'm not sure when in Spain, but sometime next year, called Black Sea, and it's a thriller set on a submarine. It's very different. It's very male, it's very tense, very claustrophobic in a submarine, and it's about looking for sunken treasure. It's about a bunch of very desperate men who go, some Russians, some British people. The actors are half Russian, half English speaking, and they go to the Black Sea to look for a U-boat that went down during the Second World War in the Black Sea. Sorry, somebody, hang on one second.
No, no,
Hello?